everyone. Today I want to show you how this picture has gone from being kind of almost drab down here in the picture where I just had it green. And now I've covered it with these beautiful pink flowers. And I want you to see that the flowers create certain movements across the picture. The colors and the direction of the movements take our eye in a certain way into the depth of the background. So now I'm going to show you how I'm going to mix up some of these beautiful bright fuchsias and pinks and accentuate the movements of the land. Okay, so I have here a variety of different colors in some of the colors that I know I'm going to need. This one is a rose violet, and here we have a permanent red rose. And then I have this purple, dioxazine purple. And there's going to always be a need for white. Plus, I know I'm going to need a little bit of blue. I'll use cobalt. Now, how do I know how to mix colors? That's a really good question. And it has to do with learning the language of colors. And that's why we study and test out and practice using many different colors all the time. And then after a while, you can sort of forget about what you know about color and just let it come naturally. Much like if you had learned to write words and then you could sort of let go and write beautiful prose. It would be the same kind of thing where you don't have to think about every letter and sound, but you just sort of know how it goes together. So now I'm going to do that with colors. And I'm going to start with this one. And the easiest way to show you is just add a little bit of white to the rose. And you'll see that it gets very, very rosy. Now that in itself on the canvas would look very tutti frutti and be unacceptable to me. So I'm going to put in some cobalt blue to make it a little bit purpley, like that. Now, if I find that this is too purple, I can always just add in more rose, as much as I want. And I can lighten it too by just adding a little bit more white. And now it looks like the color that I want for the shadowed areas in between the knolls of flowers. Okay, I'm ready to apply this purplish color into the knoll, as I said, of the lay of the land, and it's going to be kind of this shadowy area. So all I have to do is just take a round brush like this, and I can just tap it in here. And you can see that it might be kind of fun to have it really thick in places. And smaller in other places. And I can even imagine that there will be some shadows back in here too, in between. And the bigger ones will be up front, closer to the viewer. But mainly I'm working down here, because this is where the curve is going. Now I'd like to get some more of these pinks in here too. And they're kind of a warm pink. And I'm just going to take a little bit of this permanent red rose and the rest of my white basically, I'll be getting more. But you can see that makes a really pretty pink. And some people would say that's just fine in and of itself. We could put it on the canvas just like it is, and it would be very powerful and lovely, really. But I'm going to show you what will happen if I just tone the color a little bit with a bit of warmth. So I'm going to grab a little bit of orange. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the orange and mix it right into that pink. And the more I mix the two together, the more the pink will swallow up the orange, and it'll just become a really warm, rich color. And now I can scoop that up onto my palette knife. And again, I said I wanted to just work in this knoll here, so I'll just tap it in, knowing that I'm going to have the really big spaces of it up front here. And as I get further and further away, they'll get smaller. And if I want to, I can even have them way back here, just really, really small. You can see that I have quite a bit of work to do with my little technique of applying these patches of color to create the flower fields down below. And it'll be very peaceful for me to work on it, and I'll show it to you next time.